the translation lapses or whatever is not mentioned, and they are taking to the story, the novel as such. Especially what Mr. Jai Singh wrote in first post was the way he has written. I think you must read that because he has put it in perspective, and the way he made us realize that yes, we did something really good, worth talking about. I think Anita is better to talk about it, so I request Anita to start.
Somehow, I feel Karthik would have introduced the guests. Anita Nair is a very, very popular name among English writers in India. Very big name. She is known since over 2 decades throughout the world. And when Pratibha told me that she is going to attend our function, she is going to release my book, I said, are you sure? Because I am totally from Kannada. And secondly, she is not even from Karnataka but settled in Bangalore. And a well-known popular writer. No, she is very happy to do it. So I am obliged. And really, out of? Yeah. She has outgrown those things. Okay, you can ask it, but outgrown. And the same cannot be said about the man sitting by my right side. He was the DG of Karnataka, Director General of Police. He worked with great stars, great leaders like S.M. Krishna, Dharam Singh, and of course, he never worked in Bangalore. I did not interact with him. I have read his works and highly respected, very highly respected. So those 2 persons have come, and I am really humbled. I want Anita ji to say a few words.
Good evening. You know, when Mr. Sreedhar had... of course, not at all. In fact, I'm just fascinated that, this is like something out of a book, where a writer sits with a former Don and a former cop, and I'm like, okay, is this real or did I just kind of imagine all this? So anyway, I have to tell you that I started reading Gangster's Gita, and it was so fascinating. For the reason, I'm not talking about the plot, I'm not talking about, what happens, but it's merely the writing itself. Just as Pratibha mentioned, this is beautiful, simple, uncluttered writing, and that's the hallmark of good writing. It's not about finding the most toughest metaphors, it's not about couching a lack of thought and lyricism. It's none of that. It's about being able to say something and saying it as succinctly as possible. So I also must congratulate Pratibha here, despite her claiming to have a limited vocabulary, etc. She's done a phenomenal job of this translation because it's seamless. It doesn't ever read like a translation. And most of all, I think what it does is it allows the characters to breathe. Just as Sreedhar's writing allows the character to emerge and for the characters to start, walking in front of us. The same thing happens with the translations. As somebody who's translated one book, I know how much of a landmine territory this can be, because each time the translator is dithering between the right word and the word that the original writing has. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. So the translator has a huge responsibility to take the most appropriate word at that point of time, based on the character, based on the setting, based on the educational background. All of that comes into play in a translation. And so I think here what has happened is some kind of wonderful magic has happened, where this fascinating book has been translated so beautifully that none of the magic of the original writing is lost. And wonderful job, Ratna. And wonderful job, of course, Mr. Sreedhar. It's a wonderful book, And I think the most fascinating thing for me about this book, I'm not going to reveal the plot to any of you, I think you should, if you haven't read it, please buy a copy and read one, is that all true because we have been fed on a diet of Bollywood cinema where, you know, dons suddenly have this great change of heart, or there's this sentimental twist where you want to show this man as this human being and not as this cold-blooded killing machine kind of thing. All through the book, I kept waiting for that twist to happen, you know, some kind of a twist that was going to happen in the end. And in the end, you realize that there was no need for any of that. Sometimes the plainest of stories told can, you know, kind of knock the living daylights out of you. And so I think that is what is so phenomenal about this book. I'd like to start off this discussion by asking a question that's been kind of, you know, top of my mind ever since I said yes to doing this event, which is basically, and the question is actually to Mr. Guru Prasad, Dr. Guru Prasad, wanting to ask him. So here we have somebody who once was considered a don, and here we also have someone who was a cop. So how does it feel to share a dais now?
I am a retired cop, and he is no longer a don. He has been writing for a long time in Canada. I have been writing for a long time in Canada, and so I consider that I am here in this place as an author and not as a former cop. Anyway, as all of us know, no person, every saint is a sinner once, and every sinner is a saint. That's what I believe. And today I am here to talk about this book. I've been, for almost 36 years, I have been a police officer and I have seen lots of crime. But today, incidentally, today the first time I am meeting Mr. Sreedhar. Till today I have not even seen his face. This is the first time I am seeing him. Why I like this book is because of my fascination with people facing imminent death. And I like this book because it deals with a person who knows that the protagonist knows that he is going to die tomorrow, and how exactly he takes his impending death and what exactly happens in his mind. That's what fascinated me. And if you give me a little time, I must mention to you that after my retirement, I worked for a long time in a hospital medical college group. I was the CEO of a medical college cum hospital, MS Ramaya group, wherein I interacted with 4th-stage cancer patients. And once a person knows that he is going to die, he has different types of reactions. One type of person thinks he accepts his death and says that he prepares for his death, and then he is very calm and quiet. Another type of person, he is extremely perturbed. He says, tomorrow I am going to die. How exactly I should prolong my death? And he is the one who doesn't accept what comes to him. And the third type of person keeps worrying and worrying and worrying. I was fascinated by this, and after my retirement from police service, I wanted to know whether the death row criminals have a similar mentality as terminal cancer patients. I visited a large number of prisons across India, interviewed people who have been convicted, the convicts who have been given death penalty, and wanted to find out from them what exactly they feel about their impending death penalty. And then when I read this book, I tried to relate what exactly I found the convicts told me in the prisons. Here, the protagonist, Soma. The title of the book is very, very apt. I don't know who gave the title. If Mr. Sreedhar has given the title, extremely apt title. It is the karma dying exactly as we are born with this earth. We have to die one day, and it is our karma. How exactly you take death in your stride, that is something that is very fascinating. And I must tell you something. I'm sorry.
I'd like to just interrupt here and start off by asking, before we can take this further, I'd like to ask Mr. Sreedhar, what led you towards writing this book? Because you have this autobiography that had come out, memoir already, but this is couched at least as a work of fiction. It is a work of fiction, hopefully, and or not hopefully. And either way, what led you towards writing this book? Because it's not really a gangster story. It's actually a huge, I think, a deeply introspecting story of a relationship between the murderer and the victim. So what happens there? There is a huge kind of universe that comes into being between the two of them. That's a very, very intimate universe that is only available to the character in this, the person who's going to be killing Sona, and the person who's also called the hero of the book is also, you said protagonist is Sona, but for me the protagonist is Sreedhar. Yeah, so I would think that I'd like to know what led you towards writing this book.
I was not particularly interested in writing this work. Somewhere in the end of 90s, I had to take a decision because I was considered as the Don of the Bangalore city. And my family, my atmosphere was not encouraging. Most of the cases it is not, but in my case, it was too very pressurizing me to come out of it. I had 2 kids. So I had to make a choice. The friends, even in police official circle, because I was quite well read, educated. So even in the police department, there were friends. They were telling me to choose a path which can wash off my stay in the underworld. So obvious choice was politics. I belong to a community where my community is quite dominant. That was one area. Another area was business. Since I'm quite intelligent, I could survive in business. But what nobody was considering was, this man who is in the underworld, what was he before coming into the underworld? Our story starts in a society. Go to any person who has been quite successful, who is successful. The story starts after he becomes a successful or he becomes known. In my case, all the people, they always ask me, in fact, you don't know about only Patibaji knows what all I have gone through. Every day every week, I was writing my articles in Kannada. I started in 1998 to come out of that field to make a name here. Most of the people who became the butt of my writings, they used to spread the rumor that I am not writing. Somebody is writing in my name. For a long time. Only people like Pratibha, Manjunath, they sitting there, my group, they knew that I used to write. During that time there was no DTP. I used to write with my hands. And I never felt comfortable either dictating or even correcting my own script. It should flow out of me. Because before coming into this underworld, I was a serious student of literature and arts. Very serious student. But some incident happened in 1979. It forced me to reconsider what all I had faith in. My brother was attacked, sir. Attacked by one dreaded rowdy Kotwal Ramachandra. I still remember the name of the police officer to whom I went to give the complaint, Madhavarao. He was the sub-inspector. During that time, I was studying very intensely to take up IAS examination. He made me sit. After the time, I was not a rowdy, I was not an underworld element. He empathized with me and he said, "You look quite educated, Sreedhar. If you give the complaint, what will happen? After 1 year, that man will come and threaten you that he has given so much money to the advocate. They will force you to become hostile, not only that, to shell down the money he has given for the advocates." Then I asked him, "What is this? Being a police officer, how can you say it?" He used one word. Go and kick Devraj's son-in-law. He is the reason for all this rowdyism to take place in Bangalore, get organized in Bangalore. I said, I cannot kick him. I don't know about these things. He should be punished. Kill him in the streets. We will make you a hero. I took it very seriously, very seriously. And of course, I joined hands with other people. And then after, it took me 7 years to really finish off. But after finishing off what? I was drawn into the underworld. Just because I was interested in literature, I could not be inefficient there. Because suddenly I realized, though my enmity was only with Kotwal Ramachandra, now it has grown 100 times more. Every morning I used to think of my death. Somebody could kill me. Every night I should thank my death. Somehow I'm surviving. See, in those words only I used to think. Say good morning to death in the morning. Ask it, please spare this one day. And in the night, thank it. Because I'm a serious student of literature. Literature, not trash. Not trash, great literature. By great writers. I always considered writers as the prophets who shaped this world, who shaped our culture. I love writers like anything. They shaped everybody, even today. So I used to do it. At some point, it became so deep that I never wanted to become a don. Even I never wanted to make a name out of killing Kotwal Ramchandra. Because after the killing, it took police 3 more months to even realize that Kotwal is killed. Only because I was involved. Because I made it a point with Jairaj and all the associates. Because my associate Bachchan is here, he knows everything. They all worked so great, they decided that Sreedhar should not come out. That means the killing should not come out. But police somehow caught. Police, they have got their own ways. They did not even know who Sreedhar is. They caught one associate of Kotwal Ramchandra and he spilled the beans. And he said, even Sreedhar is involved. That was the first time police came to know one name, Sreedhar. So like I said, afterwards, it was a journey, very tedious journey. Now only some ladies who were interviewing me, they asked me, when you were in that field, were you not enjoying it? Did you enjoy? I said, look ma, why are you laughing, my friend? Is it a thing to be laughed at? So, I told her, everyone knows, each and every night I used to stab myself. I thought I could not be caught in this whirlpool of underworld, but I was caught. What disturbs me most, Vinitaji, when I was in the underworld, nobody prevented me. Of course, it was my own doing. I was in the underworld, police became friendly, and most of the police, whatever they are for others, they were sympathetic for me. He is well read, educated, and the twist of fate is, my own brother for whom I entered into the underworld became a police officer. And my mother never liked him. Because being a police officer, he used to call me sometimes, he used to ask me, where are you now? I said, Yako, why you are asking me? I want to know, some officer asked me. I said, you are a police officer. I am an underworld man, I will not answer you. And my mother used to side with me. It's almost like art life imitating art. If you see in the films, we doubt it. But mother was always saying, you would not have helped him to become the police officer. Then I used to ask her, what, you wanted him also to become the underworld boy? But being my younger brother and stronger than me in every way, height-wise or physique-wise. So I said, no, I'm happy that he is there, but I will see to it that I will never be cut because of him. I had to keep myself this one. So it was like that. But when I wanted to come out of the underworld, when I decided enough is enough, I never enjoyed violence. People, if I tell them, they think that I'm hoodwinking, telling lies. I never carried a lung in my life. I was very fit. I was very good. I mean, I used to say, I can kick and I can punch, but I can't cut anybody's. No, I never used a lung. I never used deadly weapons. Though I was there in the underworld for more than 12, 13 years. Then I decided to come out. I came out. While coming out, in 1993, the underworld decided that I'm the Don. I did not decide. I did not dream of it. I did not go to, we were all journalists during that time. Did you ever see me in some dancing bar? Or some club, Carl's club? No. Never. Not even in bars. Rarely we used to go. So I was totally different. So after 5 years, only because one Mr. Muttaprai escaped from Bangalore. He escaped not because of me. Even today people think that Sreedhar opposed him, he became a Don, he escaped. No, he escaped because of police. Otherwise, they would have been fighting. We were prepared for it. But he said, Bangalore is yours. You keep it. One day you will face all the issues, all the problems I am facing, all the pressures I am going through. You are not for it. Still you are in it. You face it. And left Bangalore, left country, went to Dubai. Police were after me. And 1998, when I started my magazine, I told police, because of me, not even a single boy has become a rowdy. I never adopted any other boy, any other individual to come to this line. I used to say, there are more here, go away. Don't even dream of becoming a this one, rowdy. When I started my magazine, the entire system, police force, it decided that I'm just stretching my arms too much and wanted to stop me. It wanted, the entire system, police wanted to stop me from becoming a normal human being in the mainstream. To the extent that at least for 10 years, some police officers were asking my opponents in the underworld, though they were not interested, to finish me. That was the time I took extreme care. Now since 5-6 years, everything is totally dissolved. And now, so I started to tell the people, I started writing to tell the world that I am a different matter. I'm not just a criminal. Yes, I was in the underworld. I have done what all nobody should have done according to law, even according to society. But I'm not just that metal, I am different. I started writing. I did not write only about underworld. I wrote about the ethics, moralities, how people should develop their personalities, everything. But the problem is, I don't know how many of you have come across or read Abu Qasim's Slippers. It is one of the finest stories I have read in my life. Abu Qasim's Slippers. This is one of the stories in Arabian Nights, 1001 Stories. Abu Qasim is a very cultured man, very rich. The story is being written in 12th century. If I don't think now most of you have not read it, you should read it. Abu Qasim is a very rich man, very cultured man, but he has a slipper. He is attached to his slipper. His slipper is totally worn out, full smell. Friends were always telling him, why don't you take a new slipper? He used to defend himself. See, it's the question of my character, my personality. You accept me as a man of culture, as a man who is interested in literature, who is interested in precious stones. I'm quite a rich man. Why should I show it with my attire? I like my chapel, slipper, I wear it only. One day he goes to a complex like this, again. After 2 hours, police come to him. What is the matter? You threw something out of your house, and we know it is your slippers. It is known throughout the city. It is so foul smelling. It fell on a pregnant lady, and she is aborted. So, arrested, 1 day in jail, 1,000 dinars. He comes out. He decides, looks at them. Many friends told me not to wear it. But I was sentimentally attached to you. Today I will send you to the river. He takes it, throws it to the river. Next day morning the police comes. They say it is blocking the way of a tank. So people have not got the water. So like this he tries 8-9 times. Every time it comes back, keeps on coming back, recurring back. Then he goes to the king, he goes to the judge. He tells them, you take everything from me. Take my riches, take my precious stones. Get me rid of these slippers. I cannot. Then the judge tells him, Abu Qasim, it is not only your life. The slippers are there in everybody's life. The wrongs we have committed, the things which we have not properly handled, they keep on haunting us again and again and again. Even since they have come out so open, we will burn it down in our court, in front of the king's yard. There was a full stop. So, my experience in the underworld is like my slippers. It is like my slippers. It again and again and again comes back. I wrote about Basavana. Nobody asked me anything about Basavana. I'm more interested in Basavana. Right now I'm totally immersed in Vedas. If I start talking about Vedas, people will laugh at me. Bhuta da Bayalli Bhagavad Gita. Huh? They will say like that. And you take anything, any magnified glass, you cannot find an atom of meanness or wrong thing or jealousy, any something's in me, but that means nothing. Today morning, for 4 hours, I had a meeting with a very big company. Very, very big company. It is from Netflix. They wanted to do this one as a series. I said, why don't we do Tipu Sultan or Krishna Devaraya or Basavanna? They said, no sir, you are most fit for the underworld. Fit for, even in the world of art, you have to say it. Whatever you want to say to Tipu Sultan, you say it. Of course, they were all well-read people. Well-read people. Because now that your book has come, they like the title. So I was telling Mr. Dr. Prasad, he is writing about his experiences with that man Virappan. We were talking about Virappan also. The only two works which inspire us, which motivates us regarding South India, are one is Virappan, another is you. You, not because of underworld, because you have come out of the underworld and fighting the system. Virappan, because he was also fed by the system and killed. So it is like that. So this is the answer. Yeah? I mean, big answer to Anita's question. Why I wrote Gangster's Gita? Because it is my slippers. I cannot wish it away. Though I wanted to write about other things, I cannot wish it away.
So actually, I'd like to say that while, okay, the title calls it the Gangster's Gita, I think probably it is a little misleading because it's not really about, I mean, you obviously pick up the book thinking that, okay, this is going to be like, a typical crime novel, but this is not a crime novel. That to me is the most interesting part, that it's about this preoccupation with death. And I think that's where Dr. Guru Prasad, that I think I'd like to ask you. I mean, you as a writer, now that we have done away with the dawn and cop routine, now I'd like to know that, as you can see, that there's a great fascination with this whole thing about